There's a legend among truckers called the Black Dog. They say when you've been driving too long, when your eyes are burning and the white lines start to snake, you see a black dog running alongside your truck. If you see it, you pull over immediately. If you don't, you die. I always thought it was just a story to scare rookies into taking their breaks. But in 2018, crossing the Utah Salt Flats at 3 a.m., I learned that the black dog isn't a hallucination, it's a warning. And sometimes what it's warning you about isn't the road, it's what's on the road with you. I was hauling a reefer unit, refrigerated beef, from Omaha to Reno. I was pushing hard. My logbook was, let's say, creative. I had been awake for 20 hours. The Salt Flats are desolate. It's a straight shot of nothing for 100 miles. No lights, no towns, just salt and asphalt. I was cruising at 70 miles per hour. The monotony was killing me. I turned up the radio. Static, country music, static. Then I saw it. In my driver's side mirror, something was running next to the cab. I blinked and looked closer. It was a dog, a massive black mastiff. It was keeping pace with the truck. I was doing 70. No animal can run 70 miles per hour. But there it was. Its paws were hitting the pavement silently. Its eyes were glowing red in the reflection of my running lights. Okay, Riggs, you're tired. You're seeing things. I looked back at the road. When I looked in the mirror again, the dog was gone. I let out a breath. Just the fatigue, I thought. Time to find a rest stop. But 10 miles later, I saw something else. Up ahead, on the shoulder of the road, a car. It was a 1970s station wagon, wood paneling, pale yellow. It was parked on the side of the highway, hazard lights flashing. Click-clack, click-clack. As I got closer, I saw a figure standing by the rear bumper. It was a woman. She was wearing a white dress. She was waving her arms frantically. I checked my mirrors. No one behind me. I hit the air brakes. I pulled onto the shoulder about 50 yards in front of her. I grabbed my flashlight and my tire thumper, a heavy wooden club I keep for checking tires and for protection. I opened the door and climbed down. The air was freezing. The salt flats smelled like sulfur and dry earth. "Ma'am, you okay?" I walked toward the station wagon, my flashlight being cut through the dark. The woman was still standing by the bumper. She had her back to me. "My tire," her voice carried strangely in the wind. "It's flat." I shone the light on the rear tire. It wasn't flat. It was perfect. I frowned. "Ma'am, the tire looks fine." She didn't turn around. "It's flat," she insisted. "You have to fix it." I took a step closer. "Look, I can call a tow truck on the CB, but I can't fix a tire that isn't broken." Then I noticed the car. The windows were dirty, but through the grime I could see inside. The car was packed with mannequins. Old plastic department store mannequins, heads, arms, legs, piled to the ceiling, and they were all facing the rear window, facing me. "Ma'am," I said, my grip tightening on the tire thumper, "I'm gonna go back to my truck." She turned around. It wasn't a woman. It was a mannequin. Her face was smooth plastic, painted blue eyes, a frozen painted smile. But she moved. She moved with jerky stop-motion snaps. Click, turn. Click, step. She raised a plastic hand. It held a tire iron. "Fix it," came a voice. But the voice didn't come from the mannequin's mouth. Her mouth didn't move. The voice came from inside the car, from the pile of plastic limbs. I didn't ask questions. I ran. I sprinted back to my rig. I heard the clack, clack, clack of plastic heels hitting the asphalt behind me. She was fast. I grabbed the handle of my cab door. I swung it open. I scrambled up the steps. Just as I slammed the door, something hit the metal. I locked the door. I scrambled into the sleeper berth and grabbed my shotgun.
I looked out the window. The woman was standing right next to my fuel tank. She was banging the tire iron against the aluminum tank. Clang, clang, clang. "Open up!" the voice from the car screamed. It sounded like a dozen people speaking in unison. I fired up the engine. I released the parking brake. I didn't care about the trailer. I hammered the gas. The truck lurched forward. I looked in the mirror. The woman didn't move. She just stood there, watching me leave. As I pulled away, the back door of the station wagon opened, and something crawled out. It wasn't a mannequin. It looked like a man, but he was crawling on all fours backward like a spider. His limbs were twisted. He scrambled up onto the roof of the station wagon and let out a howl. It wasn't a human howl. It sounded like a coyote, but deeper. I drove for 3 hours straight. I didn't stop until I hit the Nevada border. I pulled into a truck stop in Wendover, brightly lit, lots of people. I jumped out and checked my truck. There was a dent in the passenger door, a deep circular dent. And inside the dent, white paint and plastic shavings. I walked into the diner. I ordered coffee. I was shaking so bad I spilled it. An old trucker sitting at the counter looked at me. He saw my face. "Rough night?" he asked. "Salt Flats," I whispered. He nodded slowly. "Did you stop for the lady in the yellow wagon?" I stared at him. "You know her?" He took a sip of his coffee. "We all know her. She's been broken down there since '88. Some say she's a ghost. Some say it's a trap set by things that live in the salt." He leaned in closer. "You're lucky, son. Most guys who stop, we find their rigs idling on the shoulder a week later, but we never find the drivers." He pointed to my truck through the window. "And hey," he added, "you got a passenger." I looked out the window. Sitting on top of my trailer, right at the back edge, was a black dog. It was sitting perfectly still, staring at me through the diner window. Its eyes glowed red. I blinked, and it was gone. I don't drive the Salt Flats at night anymore. I take the long way around. I don't care about the fuel cost. And if I ever see a yellow station wagon on the side of the road, I switch lanes, I lay on the air horn, and I pray to God that the thing in the back seat doesn't wake up.